The wife of the richest man, Anna, was horrified to discover that her newborn daughter, Lucy, had the birthmark on her hand suddenly disappear. Thinking back to when the nurse had just shown her the baby, the birthmark was clearly still there. So Anna immediately concluded that her child had been switched. After her husband William learned the truth, he instantly ordered his men to seal off the hospital, determined to find the person who stole his child. But by then, the thief had already hidden away with Lucy, and the reason she did this was to let her own daughter take the place of the richest man's daughter, escape the identity of a poor girl, and eventually inherit the billionaire's fortune. It turned out the woman was Laura, the nanny of William's family. Her own status was humble. Serving the family was one thing, but she didn't want her daughter to suffer along with her. So she secretly investigated Anna's due date and found out it was the same day as her own. So she chose to give birth in the same hospital as Anna. Coincidentally, on the day of delivery, Anna had a difficult labor. All the nurses and doctors in the hospital were busy, and no one paid attention to Laura and her baby's condition. So she grew full of hatred toward the rich. At that moment, a wicked idea came to her. She planned to switch her own baby with the richest man's baby. Then Laura stole a nurse's uniform, enduring the pain right after giving birth, and came to the door of Anna's room, preparing to find a chance to switch the babies. At that moment, the nurse had just taken the baby from William, ready to take Lucy for a bath. She happened to run into Laura standing at the door. So Laura lied and tricked the nurse away, taking the baby from her hands. But just then, the baby's cries caught William and Anna's attention. They questioned the nurse about what was going on, and immediately told her to bring the baby over. Helpless, Laura, pretending to be a nurse, could only hand the baby over. But after William took the baby, he didn't notice anything unusual. It turned out that just earlier, Laura had already swapped Lucy with her own child. The unsuspecting couple didn't notice anything wrong. Seeing her plan succeed, Laura immediately left, planning to get rid of Lucy. But just as she left, Anna noticed something was wrong. Not only did the baby's skin feel different, but even the birthmark on the wrist was gone. Anna cried out in horror that this was not their daughter. It turned out that long before giving birth, Anna feared someone might harm her child. So after delivery, she asked the nurse to bring a non-fading stamp and stamped it on the baby's wrist as a mark to prevent anyone from switching the baby. After learning the truth, William ordered the hospital sealed off to search for the child. But at that moment, Laura had hidden in the morgue with the baby. Just as she was about to sneak away with the baby, she was spotted by George, a rich heir hiding in the morgue. He immediately recognized that Laura was a fake nurse, and to avoid exposing her identity, she had to lie, claiming she was here to store a baby's body. But George clearly saw the baby moving, so he exposed Laura's lie again. He warned her to hand the baby over to him, otherwise he would call the police and have her arrested. Terrified of being exposed, Laura only wanted to escape quickly. As long as she hid fast, the police wouldn't find her. But just as she opened the door to leave, she ran into William, who was looking for his child. Unaware, William immediately asked the nurse where his baby was. Laura had no choice but to lie, saying traffickers had taken the baby. Then she escaped while William was distracted, and William couldn't spare time to chase her. With George's help, he successfully found his daughter, and he ordered his men to thoroughly investigate the nurse who stole the baby. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. William still hadn't found the culprit, but the arrogant Laura continued working in William's house as usual. Only because of the last incident, William and George had become good friends. So George often stayed at William's house to protect Lucy. He knew that the nanny Laura was the villain, but without evidence, he couldn't act rashly. All he could do was protect Lucy, and this sight directly infuriated Laura. Why should the richest man's child get all the attention, while her own daughter had to suffer with her? Her heart was filled with jealousy. Seeing George give Lucy a gift worth millions, she became even more envious. Since her daughter couldn't be the richest man's child, then making her loved by the young heir was also good. So in front of Anna, she brought her own daughter over for George to see. But George thought Laura's daughter not only had rough skin, but also very small eyes, and was so ugly that even working as a servant in his house one day would make it hard for her to be chosen. Looking at her longer would just ruin his mood. So he told Laura to to take the child away. Those words instantly enraged Laura. She blamed all the misfortune on Lucy. She believed that as long as Lucy was around, her own daughter would never be noticed. Then an evil thought arose in her mind. That day, George's father suddenly visited, because the new semester was about to start. He came to take George home. Hearing this, Laura immediately felt her chance had come. As long as George no longer lingered around Lucy, she would have a chance to get rid of Lucy. Then, under his father's persuasion, George reluctantly agreed to leave. Before leaving, he gave his bracelet to Lucy, and Lucy couldn't bear to see George go, so she began to cry. Seeing this, William was about to pick up his daughter, but was stopped by Laura. She said directly that Lucy was just unwilling to let George go. She would coax her for a while and it would be fine. So William believed Laura's words and left the room under her deception. Once William left, Laura's expression changed. Thinking that she and her daughter would soon enjoy a life of luxury, she even fantasized about marrying William. At this thought, Laura couldn't help but laugh. Then, while no one was paying attention, she took tools up the mountain and began digging a deep pit in a hidden place.